So, among the many wonders that we have discovered in this tiny island city of Wilton Manors is the Pride Center. And you cannot imagine in this tiny little town of 12,000 people, less than 2 square miles, is one of the largest LGBTQ centers in the entire country. And standing next to me is the CEO of the Pride Center at Equality Park, Robert Boo. Welcome.
Hey, well, thank you. Well, I'm so happy to be here.
And we are so happy to have you here. So tell us a little bit about this whole project, because you are on acreage. You have a lot of square foot of space. You have residences. You have beautiful sculpture gardens. How did this evolve in such a tiny little place?
So I started with the center back in 2006. Everyone says it's 1945, but it was really 2006. And I left the corporate world, came as the director of development. We were located over on Andrews Avenue by the boardwalk, sold that property. And then in 2008, we were able to purchase this 5.5 acre campus. And we purchased it a month before the financial collapse. Otherwise, we never would have been able to have the money to buy the campus. And so our whole intent was to create a campus of care, multiple services, multiple organizations providing services. And so we've actually achieved that dream by having 10 other organizations that provide service to our community, as well as 50 other groups and organizations that utilize our meeting room space on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. And so when we purchased this campus, we also rebranded. We were the Gay and Lesbian Community Center of Greater Fort Lauderdale, but that was not inclusive. And so we rebranded as the Pride Center at Equality Park. And so we call the Equality Park our campus. And we did $1 million renovation on the Schubert building. And we also updated our mission statement. We provide a welcoming, safe space and an inclusive home that nurtures, celebrates, and empowers the LGBT communities and our friends and allies here in South Florida. Little did we know when we came up with that mission statement that providing a safe home, we would take that literally. We built the state of Florida's first senior affordable and supportive housing, and we have a 48 apartment community here on our campus with 21 studio apartments, 21 one-bedroom, and 6 two-bedroom apartments. We opened up in October of 2020, right during the middle of the pandemic. And loneliness and isolation are two of the hugest contributors to seniors, their quality of life. And here we had people moving onto our campus right during the middle of the pandemic when we were shut down to the public. So we had to work really hard to ensure that our new clients living on our campus felt welcomed and surrounded by love.
So I've seen the residences, they're right next to here, and that is an amazing concept too. Being someone who is less than 20 years away from falling into that senior category, I'm really excited about the idea that there might be some kind of senior housing available in the LGBT community, and especially in a place like Wilton Manors, which is so wonderful.
Yeah, actually, it was all self-serving. I wanted to be able to just throw my stuff in a grocery cart and wheel it from my office into my apartment. So I wanted to build it right here on the campus.
Well, that worked out conveniently.
Yes.
Did they also provide special parking for your roles, or?
No, unfortunately. I do not get that.
So this property here is amazing. You mentioned it's what, about 6 acres?
5.5
acres.
Yes.
And not only are there buildings here that are very professional, they look very clean and well maintained, and everybody who works here has a professional demeanor. It's not like going into some little neighborhood back room Pride Center that has a couple of part-time volunteers. Everything here is run like a business. It looks very, very proper and professional. But on the grounds outside, I was out there yesterday, and I took pictures everywhere. There's like beautiful gardens and everything. It's like being in a tropical oasis sitting outside the building.
Well, if you had seen the campus when we purchased it, it was previously owned by a telecommunications company out of Argentina. And so they transmitted highly confidential information between the United States and Argentina. And so it was surrounded by barbed wire fence, had these huge satellite dishes on the campus, and everything was gravel. It didn't look gay. So one of our first projects was to start on the south side of the Schubert building, start creating this outdoor space for the community to come together. So we first phase was having the plaza put in place, and then just within the last year we completed that whole phase, and now we have a complete plaza. And we only did that through the generosity of some donors in our community that helped make that happen. Every square inch of our 5.5-acre campus has now been fluffed and landscaped and utilized, and every square inch is now being used. But that still doesn't preclude us from having our future dreams and goals of creating a 20,000 square foot multi-use cultural center here on the campus as well.
And of course, you're going to have to build an extra apartment or two, so I have somewhere to move to when I meet that qualification.
That's right. When you do, and we have plenty of time to plan ahead for that, we'll make sure you get the penthouse.
So, you know, talking about the way you've redesigned the property and the landscaping and everything that's been done, that's another aspect of the pride the community can have in this center, because when you come here, you don't feel like you're going to a second-rate facility or you're going to some, you know, back door entrance on a shopping plaza. You can be proud to drive up here, walk up here. Everything is welcoming and beautiful. It's an awesome place.
Thank you. And you know, I'm only standing here on the shoulders of all of the volunteers, all of the staff, the people who founded the organization 30 years ago yesterday. June 25th was our 30th anniversary. And so I'm standing on top of their shoulders. They did the hard work of establishing the organization and getting it going during the AIDS crisis. And then being able to progress and add to our portfolio of services to our community. It was very important to us to continue that growth.
Now, you had mentioned earlier that you're connected with a lot of the other LGBTQ centers around the country. And I'm kind of wondering, what is the general response that you get when you tell them that you're with the PrideCenter in Wilton Manors and they see pictures of the property and hear about the programs here? What do people in other cities like Chicago, New York, Atlanta think when they realize it's in a city of 12,000 people and you have all these amenities?
Well, you know, CenterLink is the organization, the national organization that all the LGBTQ community centers in the United States as well as some in Canada. There's over 300 members. And so we get together on an annual basis for a summit. I'm also on their board of directors. I'm the immediate past co-chair of the board of directors. And we're very supportive of each other because, yes, smaller organizations come here and they look and they go, oh my goodness, this is what we could only dream of. Well, you know, not that long ago, we were in the exact same situation where the Andrews Avenue property really had much to be desired. And so it was only through the hard work, the support of the community, and just some wonderful funders and people around us that helped us achieve our dream.
Excellent. Well, you've done a beautiful job. Now, I got to ask you this question because we are in Wilton Manors, and there are a lot of people that don't realize, you know, this area of South Florida, whether you're talking about Wilton Manors or Fort Lauderdale or even Miami, historically has a long gay history. There's always been a gay hotspot somewhere in South Florida. But magically, in the last 10 or 15 years, it's kind of gravitated and exploded in this tiny 2-square-mile parcel on the northern edge of Fort Lauderdale. How do you describe Wilton Manors to people who have never been here, and what do you say about what makes it such a magical, you know, gay place?
Well, you know, per capita, we're the second gayest city in the United States, and it's just because people feel safe here. Prior to coming to the center, back in my corporate days, I actually lived in South Beach in around 99, 2000, when that was really at the height of it being a gay enclave. I then moved to California, and when I came back several years later, the community, the progression of everyone moving from South Beach up to Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors was already taking place. And so when I moved back into the area, I chose to move to Fort Lauderdale, and then started with my career with the organization 17 years ago, back when I was 20.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. That's an early start too.
Thank you.
It's not often that someone in their early 20s can join an organization this big and this important and a leadership role. So congratulations.
Thank
That
you
was a
very
great
much.
accomplishment.
Well, these are stress highlights. It's not really gray hair. It's just stress highlights from
Well,
the job.
It's stylish these days to have hair that's not your natural color anyway.
Well, I'm looking for those queens that like daddies.
So anybody that's interested in finding out more about the Pride Center at Equality Park, conveniently on this backdrop behind me is the website, pridecenterflorida.org.
All spelled out.
Yes, pridecenterflorida.org. And check out all their programs, check out the beautiful pictures of their facility, and come to Wilton Manors and experience it in person because, on the internet, it doesn't do it justice. You got to come here, you got to check it out, and you got to see how it's literally located right on the edge of a residential neighborhood. If I walk out the front door here and go 2 doors down, I am standing in somebody's front yard. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're in a corporate park or something. You're right in the community. You're part of Wilton Manors.
I tell everyone that we are the Neiman Marcus at the base of Dixie Highway in Wilton Manors, because if you go across the river, the waterway, you're in Fort Lauderdale. But yes, we're the anchor store of Dixie Highway.
And it's a beautiful space. We thank you so much for everything you do. And congratulations on your 30th anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Did you save a piece of cake for me?
No. It's right here.